It's the morning weather briefing. This is for Monday, September 30th. Wrapping up the month here. Start October tomorrow. Fall is getting into full swing, and we've got a pretty quiet week. Of course, the next tropical wave in the Gulf is producing lots of weeping and gnashing of teeth across social media this morning. We have a lot of new data in the house, so we'll take a look at it together. Here's the upper air look. We like to start here. And this is about 18,000 feet off the ground. And again, we have the upper low that's kind of the remnant of Helene that's over West Virginia. The main mid-latitude westerlies pretty far to the north, which means it should be a fairly warm week. Nothing on radar across Alabama early this morning. The closest showers are over the eastern Gulf. We've got 60s for North Alabama, low to mid-70s for South Alabama. Highs today will be in the low 80s for the northern half of the state, mid-80s for South Alabama. We do note there is a dense fog advisory early this morning for about the northern half of Alabama. The county's in gray on that map, and that fog should dissipate by mid-morning. Otherwise, things are pretty quiet across the country. All those counties in hot pink up north, those are red flag warnings for the possibility of wildfires. No severe storms expected across the country today. Same thing tomorrow. Same thing on Wednesday, nice and calm. So this is rain for the next 7 days, valid through Monday morning of next week. And if this works out, the northern half of the state will be mostly dry. There could be a few small isolated showers this afternoon, tomorrow afternoon, but again, most places will be dry through the weekend, which bodes well for the races at Talladega. This is race weekend. And there is a chance of rain over the Gulf Coast later this week. Thursday, Friday, but even those days, it won't be a total washout. So in the tropics, let's go through the big picture first. We've got several items of interest. We have Joyce, which is a junk system in the middle of the Atlantic that's dissipating. We have Isaac, which is a system in the North Atlantic becoming post-tropical. Tropical Depression 12 in the East Atlantic. That could become a pretty big hurricane, but that's going to turn north, and then a wave coming off the coast of Africa, and all that won't affect land here. The interest is obviously the 0X there in the Caribbean. No chance of this developing in the next 2 days. However, there is a 50% chance of this developing over the next 7 days. And it winds up in the southern Gulf. Where does it go from there? More about that in just a second. Real quick, all the other ones. Joyce, that's junk. It will dissipate tonight, far from land, affecting nobody. Isaac, that's junk. Far from land, becomes post-tropical, middle of nowhere. So TD12 will likely develop and become maybe a big hurricane by the weekend, but that will be a recurving storm not affecting any landmass. That's the GFS ensemble output. So the focus will be on that little feature in the Caribbean. This is the probabilistic outlook from the European ensemble. And again, what you want to do is take the ensemble approach with things like this at this phase of the game. And again, this is the probability of tropical storm formation. And you can see the probabilities are up there in the 20 to 40% range over the Gulf, well south of the Panhandle. And if anything forms, most of the members move this over the peninsula, not the Panhandle. But let's look at the actual members. Again, the European ensemble has 51 members. And what you do with this, you look at the range of possibilities. When everybody posts on the socials, they post deterministic output. This is what's going to happen. It's this or nothing. And again, what they do, they'll find the scariest map. And most of these people don't even know how numerical weather prediction works. And quite frankly, most of them don't know how the atmosphere works, and they'll do that to scare people and to bring in engagement and likes and shares. And a lot of these people tap into the content funds, creator content funds, and they make a lot of money scaring people. And it's really gotten bad over the weekend. And then, of course, people come attack me, and the man I follow forecasts hurricanes 3 weeks in advance, and he's never wrong. And, of course, if you post those crazy maps, you might get 1 out of 100 right, maybe. But having said that, if you watch these videos, thank you. We really do thank you in the professional weather enterprise, because that means you seek out good, credible information. So there's your members, 51 members. And really, the steering currents are weak, and most of the guidance kind of showing a system just meandering in the central Gulf for a while, then finally getting some motion with a trough, and it moves towards the Florida Peninsula. Again, not necessarily the Panhandle, but we just don't know that yet. Until it forms and until we know the upper air pattern, we just don't know that yet. But again, it just seems like the pattern would favor this staying south of the central Gulf Coast. That would be Gulf Shores, Navarre, Fort Walton Beach, Destin, Panama City. But let's go through modeling. We'll take a look at this. Model fans, GFS. This is the 06Z run, valid today at 4. Got a really big trough up in central Canada. But again, for us, a weakness in here. And again, part of that is the remnants of Helene, which is over West Virginia. And the circulation around that could bring a few isolated showers to the northern part of the state today. This is the high-res HER, valid this afternoon at 6 o'clock, this evening at 6 o'clock. And you can see a few little green specks on there. So isolated showers for North Alabama. Otherwise, partly sunny today with highs in the low 80s for the north, mid 80s for the south. Same thing tomorrow. Could there be a shower over North Alabama? Yes, but probably not many at all. Highs up in the low to mid 80s, partly sunny. Wednesday, a mostly sunny and warm day, mid 80s. This is Thursday. Moisture begins to move up into South Alabama, so we'll mention a chance of showers and maybe some thunder for the southern half of the state on Thursday. North Alabama stays dry. And then Friday, moisture increases statewide, and we'll mention a chance of showers statewide. But again, I want to stress it doesn't look like it's an all-day rain, not a washout rain, probably not that heavy. But yes, a chance of showers on Friday with low 80s. And then for the weekend, at this point, it looks nice. This is Saturday. This is Sunday. And if this works out, the weekend will be dry with highs in the, again, low and mid 80s. Stays pretty warm. So we'll be in the 80s through Sunday. And this is a week from today. This is Monday, the 7th of October. You note that little tropical feature down there in the Gulf, far, far south of the central Gulf Coast. You can see it right over there. And then we'll go out 10 days. This is Wednesday, October 9th. Pretty good trough on the East Coast. And the tropical system is basically where I am. In fact, I'll take the box off, and you can see it's in the Atlantic, well east of the Carolinas. Let's look at the individual models. This is the GFS on Tuesday, October 8th. This is 8 days away. And it brings a tropical system into Tampa Bay. Let's look at the European. And this is going to be valid on Monday, October 7th, 1 week from today. And it's got a weaker system north of Tampa Bay, kind of up towards Cedar Key. So again, the GFS, deterministic, coming into Tampa Bay in 8 days. The European coming into area north of Tampa in 7 days. But again, I stress, you want to look at the range of possibilities here, and that's why we look at the ensemble output. And I know that people say, what good is this? Well, you look at the mean of all those ensemble members, and the mean produces something that looks like this. So obviously, nobody knows. We'll be watching, and just stick with us. Watch the updates this week. Rain for Birmingham off the European ensemble. This is for the next 15 days, valid through October 14th. The mean is the green line on that chart. About 1 inch. Not that much. And remember, October in Alabama is traditionally the driest month of the year. It's a very dry month most years. Temperatures, this is for October 7th through October 13th. Temperatures near, maybe slightly below average if this works out. So, again, I don't think a lot of folks around the United States understand the humanitarian crisis that is unfolding in the mountains, the southern Appalachians, extreme East Tennessee, western North Carolina. And again, we also should mention Augusta, parts of eastern Georgia got hit hard, Greenville, South Carolina, but this is pretty bad up here. And with little communication, little cell service, no power, it's rough. Understand these folks, and in many cases, roads have been washed out. People are just trapped. They can't get in. They can't get out. They can't make a phone call. The grocery store shelves are empty. There's no food. And, of course, there's a mass amount of help that's in there now, but we just don't know the full story yet. But understand, for a lot of these people, it's their Katrina. and they just haven't received a lot of attention, and they certainly need a lot of help. This is what it looked like from one person that was trying to drive in up in western North Carolina. And again, it's just the thing is so many people want to help, and that's great to see. And I posted some links up on my social pages, Samaritan's Purse, and some of these other ministries that are good at this, and they get in there. The Cajun Navy, they do a great job. And the best thing for now, it's just to send money to these credible organizations. And again, I've seen a lot of people throwing out these Venmo account numbers and Cash App and all these things. I'll be very careful with that. People tend to work these scams. Just find a credible organization that's in there and knows how to get in there and knows how to help. And again, those links are up on my social site. Of course, one question is, what happens to all this water? And of course, it's got to go somewhere. And this is a look at one of the dams up on the Tennessee River operated by TVA. And the TVA is pretty darn good at this. They're good at managing levels along the Tennessee. But obviously, there's going to be some sharp rises and a lot of water coming through these hydroelectric dams by the Tennessee Valley. And again, I'll be posting some information in coming days about river levels up on the Tennessee. But again, that water's got to go somewhere. All right, so that's going to do it this morning. Today I will be in Gadsden at the J.W. Stewart Head Start program. The little ones, they love to talk about weather. Tomorrow going to be at Muscle Shoals Middle School up in northwest Alabama. Wednesday, Moundville Elementary School in Hale County. Thursday, I'm going to Butler County, where I come from, South Alabama, McKenzie School. I went to W.O. Palmer in Greenville, and that's just down the road from Greenville in South Butler County. And then Friday, going to be in Decatur for a homeschool group. And there will be no book signing this Saturday. Be scheduled to be down in Demopolis to host the Miss Christmas on the River pageant. I've done that for many years on occasion. It's always good to be back in Demopolis in West Alabama. Don't forget, this evening we have Weather Brains. That's our show for weather geeks, dweebs, nerds, dorks, and weenies. And obviously, I think we're going to try and spend some time tonight to talk about Helene, not only the physical science side, but the social science side, the behavioral science side. How is the communication process? Did the people in the mountains, the southern Appalachians, get adequate warning? How do they hear information? Just there's so much to talk about with this. And obviously, it's very early in the game and research will be done. But again, that'll be tonight on Weather Brains. You can watch it live on YouTube, youtube.com/weatherbrains. Most people listen to the audio podcast. That'll be out late tonight, early tomorrow morning. And of course, we invite you to watch us on television this evening, ABC 3340 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10 o'clock. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and God bless.